1990, the Gambino crime family's underboss, Frankie Locascio, was arrested along with John Gotti and Salvatore Gravano on charges of racketeering.
Who was Frankie Locascio, the consigliere of John Gotti? Frankie Loc Locascio, born September 24, 1932 in New York City, was an American mobster who rose to become the consigliere of the Gambino crime family under the administration of John Gotti. Locascio was born in Italian immigrants from Sicily. Becoming a made man during the 1950s, Locascio was a bookmaker and a loan shark for the Gambino family. Later on, he was promoted to capo regime of a crew in the Bronx, New York. After December 1985 assassination of boss Paul Castellano, Gotti became the new Gambino boss and Locascio was joined his inner circle when underboss Joseph Amon went to prison in 1987. Locascio became acting underboss. When Gotti reshuffled his administration later on, promoting Salvatore the Bulger to Amon's position, Locascio became acting consigliere. On December 11, 1990, Locascio was arrested alongside Gotti and Gravano and indicted for racketeering. At the time of his arrest, Locascio was still publicly identified as the Gambino family underboss. At this time, Gravano decided to become a covenant witness and testified against his former associates. On April 2, 1992, Locascio was convicted on racketeering and conspiracy charges, as was Gotti. On June 23, 1992, both Gotti and Locascio were sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. When asked to comment on his sentencing, Locascio made the following remarks. First, I would like to say emphatically that I'm innocent. I'm guilty too. I'm guilty of being a good friend of John Gotti. And if there were more men like John Gotti on this earth, we would have a better country. Gambino Captain Joseph Jojo Carosa later replaced Locascio as consigliere. As of December 2011, Locascio was imprisoned at the Federal Medical Center Defense in Massachusetts. He had no project release date. In Underboss, the tale a told by Salvatore the Bulger describes an incident which Locascio in jail with Gotti and Gravano in 1991 gave him a stolen orange before offering one to Gotti. Gotti became furious and loudly recited Locascio in front of other inmates. Later, Gravano said he humiliated Locascio tearfully, followed to murder Gotti, stating, "The minute I get out, I'm killing him." Gravano claims he and Locascio then made a pact to kill Gotti at a victory party, assuming they were somehow acquitted. Frankie said Sammy two things: "I will bring him to the party myself and I got to be the shooter." According to law enforcement sources, their court papers infiltrated Gotti, who was serving a life sentence in Marion, Illinois, reached out to the Aryan Brotherhood prison gang to kill Locascio. Sources said they believed that the two members of the white supremacist group were used in 1994 by one of Gotti's associates in a murder-for-hire contract. At some point, federal prison officials in Marion allegedly got Gotti complaining about Locascio's persistence on video cameras. A source said, without identifying Gotti, prison officials said in court papers a possible contract had been put on Locascio's life by his former associates. Locascio tested positive for COVID-19 at the Federal Medical Center Defense, where he had been in custody since March 22, 2001 in December 28, 2020, following the completion of a medical isolation. After presenting with no symptoms, he was converted to a status of recovered in accordance with Centers for Disease Control and Prevention guidelines on January 8, 2021. Locascio was placed in a comfort care program at the FMC Defense on September 28, 2021 for multiple medical complications. He died in prison on October 1, 2021 at the age of 89.